comment in February that, quote, "For the first time in my adult life, I am proud of my country." This morning, Cindy McCain said she's always been proud of her country. Well, are Mrs. Obama's words really that different from this comment we found from John McCain on Fox earlier this year?
I really didn't love America until I was deprived of her company.
I really didn't love America until I was deprived of her company. And our research shows McCain has repeatedly made similar comments through the years. In fact, it appears it was a running theme in his campaign in 1999. First, here's the full context of the comment McCain made in March on Fox News. Sean Hannity asked him about his time as a POW, asking, quote, "What does that do to a person to spend that much time in solitary confinement?" John McCain said, "I think it makes you a better person. Obviously, it makes you love America. I really didn't love America until I was deprived of her company. But probably the most important thing about it, Sean, is that I was privileged to have the opportunity to serve in the company of heroes." In 1999, McCain launched his campaign for president saying this.
I was born into America's service. It wasn't until I was deprived of her company that I fell in love with America.
And then again in December of 1999, McCain said, quote, "I was not in love with America until I was deprived of her company." Look, I think McCain's comment is eloquent. It's even inspiring. No one should pass judgment on his time as a heroic POW, but is that statement that McCain has repeated so often about only coming to love America really that different from Michelle Obama's comment that the right and now even Cindy McCain are using to question her patriotism? Mrs. Obama's repeatedly tried to clarify it. That hasn't made a dent in the right-wing assaults. Her comment was in the context of her pride in the political process, her desire for change. So won't these McCain comments that we've uncovered blunt the attacks on Michelle Obama? Joining us now, the editor of The Nation, Katrina vanden Heuvel, Newsweek's Jonathan Alter, Republican strategist Brad Blakeman, and right-wing talk show host Lars Larson. All right, thanks to all of you for coming on. Appreciate it. All right, Brad, this seems to me to be a pretty big development among those people who've been trying to smear Michelle Obama.
It's not a development at all. John McCain was a POW for 5 years. I've traveled abroad to many third-world countries and never appreciated America more than when I came back to America. It's the little things that you miss, and I'm sure John McCain felt the same way when he was a prisoner of war.
But, Lars, what Brad is doing is providing context to John McCain's comment. And as I said, I have no problem with John McCain's comment. But people like you, Lars, have been on the air smearing Michelle Obama on this sort of notion that she doesn't love America, etc. John McCain said, "I really didn't love America until I was deprived of her company." You can take that comment out of context the same way you've been taking Michelle Obama's comment out of context for weeks now. You tell me how that's any different.
I'll tell you how it's different. I think there is a different context. Michelle Obama is an amazingly fortunate individual. She's well educated. She's well compensated. She's married to a presidential candidate. That's about as high as you get in America. And yet here's a woman who stands up and gives speeches on behalf of her husband and goes beyond talking about being proud. She says America is a place as a country that's just downright mean, that average people can't make it, that the country does horrible things. She and her husband are friends with what? A terrorist, Mr. Ayers? A criminal, Mr. Rezko.
But look, this is when you start. This is when you start in the nonsense. All right, this is when you start with the nonsense.
Why is that nonsense?
Because look,
Dan, why is that nonsense?
Because look, the notion. Jonathan is like chomping at the bit here. I'll let you respond to it if you want. But
yeah, you're saying you're just talking trash and nonsense, and it's a slur, and it's really, it's actually, frankly, it's kind of appalling. That you and others would stoop to this level, because it's not true. You don't know Michelle Obama. You haven't spoken, as I have, to many of her friends.
I don't claim to know her. I'm taking her from a quoted word.
Many different people. No, you're taking. Let me just quickly just try to dispense with this. You're taking her out of context intentionally to try to twist her words for your own political purposes.
I'm not taking her out of context.
And it's borderline racist.
Okay.
I'm not saying you're a racist, but the comments are borderline racist.
But here's what I want to ask Katrina, all right? I want to come back to this comment from John McCain, because Lars Larson and I wanted to go to him early just to make sure you understood what the right and the far right have been doing with regard to Michelle Obama. They take these comments, they take them out of context. Okay, look, they want to do that. More power to them. It's a free country. My problem is that when you hear what John McCain said, and that's why I was so stunned by these words from John McCain saying, "I really didn't love America until I was deprived of her company." You can take that just as out of context as you can Michelle Obama's comment.
Dan, let me...
Hang on one sec, Lars. I'll let you respond. Lars, hang on one sec.
Absolutely. And I think that those comments of John McCain's should blunt the right-wing attempt to demonize and smear an honorable woman who has a great family, who is inspiring, and there is a reason the Barack Obama campaign has set up a smear unit to diffuse what we've just heard. It is a scandal that we have a politics like this when there are great issues roiling this country. Someone out there, one of the right-wing wingnuts, just said average people can't make it, and said that that was a slur on our country. Breaking the news to you, there are thousands of people today who lost their jobs. There are thousands who can't drive to a job because they can't pay gas prices, or who lost their health care insurance. We can do better in this country. We can.
But, Lars, I challenge you. If Michelle Obama had used the words, if Michelle Obama had used the words, I really didn't love America until I was deprived of her company, and let's say it was in the context of something totally different, you would be out there taking it out of context and saying, Michelle Obama doesn't love her country. You'd be on the radio every day, Michelle Obama doesn't love her country, etc. And John McCain used those words.
You know what, Dan? Unfortunately, you couldn't qualify as one of my producers. Let me tell you a couple of things. First of all, America is the land of opportunity. Millions of people around this planet recognize this, which apparently your lefty guests don't recognize.
Thank goodness we have Lars Larson here to inform us about that. Okay.
No, but
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Listen, there are
just
people...
out of curiosity.
Well, let me let him finish. Go ahead, Lars. Yeah,
hold on. Dan, do I get to respond
or not? Yes, you do. Go ahead.
Do I get to respond or not?
Go ahead.
Listen. This country is a land of opportunity. So when Michelle Obama says average people can't make it, yes, people lose their jobs. But for the most part, America is a land of wonderful opportunities, which apparently Michelle Obama, even with all her education, doesn't see. And the smear that you put on people like me is the minute I quote her words,
but you're not answering my question, Lars. Lars, you're not answering, and I'm going to ask it to Brad. I'll ask you the same question, Brad. If Michelle Obama had used the words we've uncovered from John McCain, I really didn't love America until I was deprived of her company.
But she didn't.
But you're missing the point, Lars. Lars, John McCain said it. John McCain said it. That's the point. I want to get Brad in here for a second.
Not only didn't she say it, but she certainly would never have said it in the context that John McCain said it as a prisoner of war.
Context matters now.
So it's two totally different things. Two totally different things.
But you know, the sad part
is,
here's the sad part.
I'm not attacking her patriotism.
I disagree with almost every policy of John McCain's. But anyone who runs for president, and you can disagree with where they want to take this country, loves this country. Why would they run to lead a country they hate? The right wing wants to make Barack Obama and his wife out to be like the Manchurian candidate. They love this country. They have benefited from the opportunities of this country. They want to lead it in a new direction after the damage done. 7 years of plundering and looting this country, and now we're going to give it all to the oil companies in Iraq?
Here is Cindy McCain this morning, okay? And the reason, part of the reason we're really talking about this tonight and why this is so important, this is how we uncovered this in the context of our research, was listening to Cindy McCain answer a question on Good Morning America about Michelle Obama.
Everyone has their own experience. I don't know why she said what she said. All I know is that I've always been proud of my country.
I mean, the problem here, Jonathan, again, is these taking out of... This has become a gotcha election. Look, everyone has to accept that. You may hate it, and rightfully so. But the bottom line is guys like Lars Larson are out there every day taking Michelle Obama's comments and either fairly...
Hold on a second.
You just told me... I'm not saying you inaccurately stated it. I just said... let me finish the sentence.
But hold on a second. I quoted her
Lars, you're going to wait. You're going to wait, Lars. Lars, you're going to wait. And I said people like Lars Larson take comments from Michelle Obama, and they then go on the air, and they'll make an entire segment, 2 segments with a sentence that Michelle Obama said. He'll say she said it more than once, etc. And he'll even say that it's a theme. But again, looking at these comments from John McCain, you listen to these comments from John McCain. In the 1999 campaign, he said it. He said it again on Fox News this year. And I don't begrudge him for it. But what I do is I use it to say this is insanity. What's going on here?
Well,
Dan,
let me let Jonathan go.
Let
me add something.
Jonathan, hang on. Let me let Jonathan go. Yeah.
Dan, look, I have great respect for the McCains, affection. In fact, I'm attacked sometimes from the left because I like both John and Cindy McCain very, very much. But I think that Laura Bush had the right approach on this. She wrote to Michelle Obama a note after these comments were taken out of context, and she recognized that she